Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalam ala Sayyidil Mursaleen. Amma ba'd. Sallu Nabi, guys. Sallu Nabi. No toys. Hey, give me that toy. Give me that toy. Right. Sallu Nabi. Right. Sit still. Muhammad, sit still.
I think
Muhammad.
this is a different lesson because Ted is not here.
Oh yeah, Ted's not here. But this is lesson number
Because
7, as you can see.
Because
right there.
Ted's sick.
And it's young man again.
Yes, young
Alright,
man.
guys, Saleh, Muhammad, be quiet. The teacher is talking. Listen, what was it in... And if the teacher asks you a question, that's the only time when you speak. What was it in the last lesson that we did about the story of the Prophet ﷺ being a young man? Saleh. Well, you don't know the answer. Then why do you put your hand up?
Oh, no, I know.
Go on.
You're learning about you as a shepherd.
No, we haven't done that yet. That's what we're doing today. What was the story about the man called George? What was the story about the story of George, Muhammad?
I know. He was.
Wait, I asked Muhammad.
When he went to a country and then someone was called George.
And then who was George? Yes, Saleh.
He knew that he was a prophet.
How?
And he just wanted to test him.
Yeah, he did want to test him,
So
and he was
said,
observing.
So then he said, "Go and take this promise by Uzzah."
What?
Uzzah.
What?
Take this promise by Uzzah.
Oh, take a promise by Uzzah. Yeah.
I said,
And then?
no.
Yeah, he's not going to do that because he had Tawheed. So now, that was the story of George. And George was a monk. What's a monk, Muhammad? Muhammad, what's a monk?
Someone that doesn't
What?
be
What's a monk, Saleh?
a really religious Christian.
Yeah, okay. So now we're looking at the young life of the Prophet ﷺ when he was a young man, part number 7, part number 2 of him being a young man, or part number 7 of the Seerah. And in today's lesson, we're going to look at 3 things. Number 1, his job when he was a young man. Number 2, his job when he became a little bit older. And number 3, what happened after he got himself a good job and a good... he got established. What happens next after you become established? Right, but before all of that, there's something that we need to understand. What is established? Established means that you settle down, as in you've got a house now, you've got... what's the next thing? If you've got a job and you've got a house, what's the next thing?
Life.
Yes, you get a family. So we'll look at that, right? So those are the 3 things. Shepherd, businessman, marriage. But there is something here that we need to talk about. Can you read this word, Saleh?
Yaka.
What does this word say here? Jahiliyyah. What does Jahiliyyah mean? Saleh, stop messing around. What does Jahiliyyah mean? Muhammad, sit down. Sit down. Jahiliyyah means the time before there was any Islam. So at that time, nobody knew what Salah was, what Tawheed was, what Shirk was, what being good to your parents were, what it means to be a good husband, what it means to be a good wife, what it means to be a good child, what it means to go to work properly and go to school properly. In the time of Jahiliyyah, everyone just did what they want. And there was nobody to stop them. So if people do what they want, Allah didn't really, because Allah allowed them. Oh, okay, sometimes they got punished and some things happened in their lives, but they didn't change. That was Jahiliyyah. Now, listen, what happens if people just do what they want? Is everyone going to be nice or not going to be nice?
They're going to be jealous and proud.
And they're going to become arrogant and start showing off, and they're going to start taking each other's things. They're going to start name calling. They're going to start doing shirk. And what used to happen at that time, for example, many houses didn't have a mummy or a baba. And sometimes the house didn't even have a mummy. And some houses didn't even have a baba. And sometimes people used to take other things without asking them. They used to steal, yes. Stop doing that, please. Stop doing it. They used to be, yes, there was. I don't like using that word, but they used to hurt other people, yes. And there used to be a lot of shirk. Why? There's nobody stopping them. They did whatever they wanted. And they ended up doing lots and lots of bad deeds. That is called Jahiliyyah. But the Prophet ﷺ, do you think he got involved with doing all of that?
No.
No, why not?
Because because he has so much patience.
Yeah, that's good. But how did he get all that patience? What happened when he was 4 years old, Muhammad?
Because Allah told him to...
No, not yet. Not yet. No, not yet. He's not a prophet yet. What happened when he was 4 years old, like you? What? Yes, son.
Jibril came down and opened his heart.
Jibril cleaned his heart for him. So now the Prophet ﷺ,
Because he had a bit of shaitan in him.
Yeah, so now he was not involved in the period of Jahiliyyah. He didn't do those things that those people did. He never did shirk. He never hurt anyone. He never called people names. He never didn't share. And whenever he had a job to do, he did it properly. At that time, they didn't do their work properly. They didn't do their schoolwork properly. They didn't go and do their... Yeah, they didn't do anything properly. Nobody cared. Everyone was just being rude to each other. And nobody stopped another person from being rude. It was just really, really bad. Nobody was anybody's friend. Everyone used to keep calling each other's name. People were being bullies. People were being meanie pants. People kept taking other people's stuff. And it was really, really rude. But the Prophet ﷺ was never rude. And his first job was when he was a young man, he became a shepherd, not a shepherd. I don't know what a shepherd is. A shepherd. That's like your favourite dish, isn't it? Shepherd's pie. But this is a shepherd. What's a shepherd?
Baker.
No. I guess again.
Different.
Baker is a baker. What's a shepherd, Saleh?
A shepherd is someone... farmer.
Kind of close. Guess again.
Someone who rounds up sheep.
Yes, so here's the desert. And here's the sheep, and there's the grass, and there is a line to represent Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
No,
wasn't it?
Stick.
Oh, it's a stick, right?
To keep all of them together.
Very good drawing, well done. So now the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam became a shepherd, and he used to look after sheep, and he did his job properly. And like you said earlier, Muhammad, he had something which was very good, which was patience. He used to look after people, and he never got angry. And if there was something wrong, he used to talk about it.
Yeah, and then he didn't get angry. He just got patient.
He was patient. Then he became a businessman. Now, this is very important because when he was a shepherd, he was patient. But when he was a businessman, he was trustworthy. What does that mean, trustworthy?
Ooh,
yes.
I know.
Go on then, Soda.
Trustworthy.
What does trust mean?
Oh, someone that you can believe in.
Yeah, exactly. And worthy means he has it. He has it a lot. So the Prophet ﷺ was trustworthy. You can believe him in everything that he did. So now, for example, if you say, here's a pen, go deliver that to Musa on the other side of Spinney Hill Park. Go give this to Musa on the other side of Spinney Hill Park. I think you are trustworthy and I want you to go and do it. That means you're going to go and do it. You're not going to drop it. You're going to do it fast. You're going to make sure Musa has it. Nothing's going to get lost. Nothing's going to get broken. That's what you call trustworthy. The Prophet ﷺ was trustworthy with Khadija's money. And not only was he trustworthy, he was very, very clever. So now let's look at it. Shepherd, he was patient. Businessman, he was trustworthy. And he was also very, very clever. So then guess what? When he was 25 years old, he got married.
25?
Be quiet. When he was 25 years old, he got married to, what was his wife's name? Khadija. Yes. And Khadija and Muhammad ﷺ had a nice house and they had 6 kids, 4 girls and 2 boys.
And then one day.
Yeah, 4 girls and 2 boys, and they lived in Makkah, and that's the end of today.
7.
No, he had 7 kids altogether, but with Khadija, he had 6. And this is the end of today's story. So can you tell me, what was it that we learned? What's Jahiliyyah?
Jahiliyyah
is the time...
where everyone was chill.
Saleh, please talk properly. Don't talk like
Where
that.
everyone wanted to chill out.
Okay, we're kind of.
And be alcoholic.
But chilling out is nothing wrong with chilling out. What Jahiliyyah means is the
A
time...
bad chilling out.
Exactly, the time before Islam. Before they knew what was right and what was wrong. Sit still. Right, that is Jahiliyyah. What was the Prophet ﷺ's first job?
Shepherd.
What is a shepherd?
Someone who runs up.
Why is that important? It teaches us...
Patient.
Patience. The second job was...
Businessman.
Why was that important for the Prophet ﷺ? Because
you could be trustworthy.
Excellent. What's trustworthy mean, Muhammad?
Because he will always look after.
Good. Well done. And he will always be very clever when he does it. And then he got... After he got a job, then he got married to Khadija, and they had 6 children. All right, say 7, whatever.
One baby.
No, that's a different one.
Oh.
Yes.
That was with Aisha.
No, it wasn't with Aisha. It was with someone else. We'll get to that. Don't worry. We're going to get to that. Let's stop rushing. هذا والله Allah make us of those people who have patience and are trustworthy. هذا والله أعلم. وصلى اللهم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.